Welcome to the AI Factory Podcast. We are diving right into a story that is completely shaking up the global map for tech talent. Let's talk about the great H-1B reset.
Okay, let's just start with one number. A number that sent absolute shockwaves across the globe, $100,000. Now, you might be thinking that's a salary, right? Or maybe some crazy signing bonus. Nope. As of late 2025, that's the staggering new price tag for a company to sponsor just one foreign professional to work in the United States.
Yeah, you can see why this one single policy change has everybody asking a really big question. Is this the end of the American dream for global talent?
$100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here, $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it.
All right, let's get into it. First up, the problem. Why does this all matter so much?
So, for decades, the H-1B visa has been, the golden ticket for U.S. companies, especially in tech. It was how they brought in the best and brightest from all over the world. I mean, it's literally been the backbone of Silicon Valley, filling these super critical jobs in everything from software engineering to AI.
And the scale of this change, wow. Just look at these numbers. Before, the total cost was, about $6,000, a manageable business expense. But now, it skyrockets to over $106,000. And get this, it's almost all because of this one single new fee. Just incredible.
Okay, so how did this all go down? Well, it was basically a week of total chaos. Let's look at the fallout.
This all happened so fast. Look at this. September 19th, boom, the proclamation is signed. The very next day, after a ton of panic, the administration has to clarify things. By the 21st, it's official. And just 2 days later, you've got Canadian lawyers calling it a gift. A few days after that, U.S. universities are realizing this could cost them millions. What a week.
You know, the crazy part was the initial announcement was so vague. It didn't say who exactly had to pay this fee. So for almost 2 full days, people already here on H-1Bs and their companies had no idea if just renewing their visa or switching jobs would suddenly cost them $100,000. You can just imagine the panic. The anxiety was off the charts for thousands of people.
All right, so this decision didn't happen in a vacuum, right? Think of it like this. The U.S. slammed a door shut, and suddenly a bunch of other doors all around the world flew wide open. To really get the global impact, you have to look at this chart. Over 70% of all H-1B visas go to professionals from India. So this policy, whether it was intended or not, hits one country incredibly hard, a country that's been a massive part of America's tech scene for years.
And the reaction from up north? Well, it was immediate. Canada's immigration lawyers and tech recruiters didn't see a problem. They saw a golden opportunity. I mean, listen to this quote, almost a gift. They're basically expecting a huge wave of talented people who are aiming for the U.S. to just pivot and head to Canada instead. And it's not just Canada. At the exact same time, China is launching its own thing, the K visa. And look at the difference here. With the U.S. H-1B, you need a job offer first. With China's K visa, nope, no sponsor needed to apply. It's way more flexible, and it's aimed squarely at the same tech and science talent that now sees this giant $100,000 wall to get into the U.S.
Then there's Germany. They're getting in on this too with their opportunity card. And honestly, this is a real game changer. It's a point system. So if you've got the skills, the experience, the right qualifications, you can actually get a visa to go to Germany to look for a job. That's a huge difference from the US, where you have to have the job lined up first.
And we can't forget the UK. They're not just sitting on the sidelines. They're actively talking about how to lure in top talent, maybe even getting rid of visa fees altogether for some professionals. So the message from around the world is crystal clear. The U.S. might be closing its doors, but we're open for business.
So after all that, what's next? What does this all mean for you if you're a student or a professional trying to navigate this new global talent map?
Okay, the whole landscape has shifted for sure. But here's your playbook for 2025. In the US, the game is now about transfers, extensions, renewals, anything that gets around that massive fee. But really, you've got to look beyond. You should be seriously checking out Canada's Express Entry, figuring out if you qualify for Germany's Opportunity Card, and if you're in STEM, keep a close eye on China's new K visa. And of course, see what the UK cooks up. The options are out there.
You know, for years, brilliant people like the physicist Michio Kaku have said America's real superpower wasn't just its own talent, it was its ability to act like a giant magnet for the smartest people from everywhere else. And the H-1B, well, that was a huge part of what made the magnet so strong.
So, that leaves us with a really big, kind of scary question, doesn't it? Has America just turned off its own secret weapon? In trying to protect what's here, has it accidentally damaged the very engine of innovation that built its future? We'll have to wait and see.
Look, staying on top of huge shifts like this is absolutely crucial. So, if you want to keep up with how AI and global policy are changing everything, we've got a couple of things for you. First off, make sure you subscribe to our channel AI Factory. That way you won't miss our next breakdown of these critical issues. And hey, if you're a leader trying to make sense of all this chaos, you should definitely check out the new book, the CXO Manual, Mastering Leadership in the Age of AI. It's basically a playbook for how to lead in this crazy new world. Seriously, it's packed with actionable rules and mindsets. Thanks so much for watching.